learned. So being transparent means me sitting here telling you that there may be things from 4 years ago or 5 years ago with Project Hope that I don't even agree with anymore. But I refuse to take things down. I have nothing to hide. What I'm doing now is what is important. And what I'm doing now is getting people off the streets. I have taken over 50 plus people off our streets. I took 2 off our streets this week that are in homes now. One was a veteran.
And it kind of follows with what you were sort of a little bit mentioning just now. There's a question mark, endorsements, victories, Project Hope. How many volunteers? Today's Valley Chronicle article. Any comments?
Can I see that?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I Endorsements. This is awesome. I have recently been endorsed by the Hemet Firefighters Association. I am the only candidate that was endorsed by the Hemet Firefighters Association, and I'm extremely honored. I'm very honored. I am also endorsed by our Mayor Pro Tem, Carly Meyer. And I have other large business supporters as well that I'm not endorsed by, but they are large business owners here in town supporting me as well. Victories, countless. I welcome you to come back to my Project Hope board to show you a pea size of the victories that we've had of getting people off our streets. What I want to do on council is find a way to prevent more from coming here and prevent more from getting on our streets, because every time I take 1 or 2 off the streets, we get 3 or 4 more in return. And that is one of the reasons I'm also running for council, because we need to stop that. We need to find out what the problem is and stop that. And we have over 200 volunteers.
Please study road safety on Devonshire and Warren. Need stoplight. Accidents have occurred. Do it before there's a tragedy. Have observed 2 cars hurrying through rather than taking turns. Thank you. So not quite a question, but concerning.
Question.
Well, can I?
Sure, it's for both.
I guess I won't answer that, but I can make a statement to that. I actually drive that every single day. At the end of our school day and work day, that is the street that we drive down to go home. I live in the Belmont Seville, which is right next door to you. And so I come down that street every day, and it is absolutely ridiculous. It takes 20 minutes to get to that stop sign when I'm coming down from Esplanade on Warren. 20 minutes sitting, and people don't wait. People find alternate routes. They go to the left and to the right. They go through the dirt fields. They cut in front. They go around to Devonshire and then cut across. And people get very angry. So I called the city not long ago and I asked, what's going on with that? And what they told me was that piece of road is not only city, but it's county. So that's what I was told. And that they have to kind of bargain with county to do something. And I told them a light would be the best thing there because it's very dangerous. My children are at risk every day. I actually go down Costin now. I go around it, which takes time too, so.
And that was both questions.
Yes, that was both.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with what a nightmare that intersection is at certain times of the day. Just kind of interestingly, when I first got on council, I asked our public works director if that intersection was on anybody's to-do list for a signal. And it is actually on a to-do list, way down the road. And part of the reason, as Stacie mentioned, part of the city, part of it's county. But primarily those kinds of improvements to get a traffic signal is very expensive. And we have a lot of infrastructure things that we need to do. And so I don't think we can afford to put a signal there now. Ideally, the best solution is to get something positive developed in that parcel of land, because then the developer pays for the signal to be put in, and the road widening and everything else. I do think that we can maybe pull in some chips with Chuck Washington, our district supervisor for Riverside County, and maybe work out some kind of a partnership, at least to put in a right turn lane for the southbound traffic would alleviate a lot of that.
Okay, a little bit of a housekeeping question. Yeah, go ahead. Give them an applause. That's fantastic. We're aware of that. We said we'd stop at 9. It's almost 10 after now. We see a lot of you leaving out the back. We've got about 6 questions left. If you're okay with that, we'll ask the 6 questions. Remember, they'll also get a 2-minute wrap. We could cut it now and go to the 2-minute wraps. What's your pleasure? Cut it now and go with the 2 minutes. Okay, thank you very much for your questions. Fantastic. So, and thank you. Say your name again.
Jatana.
Jatana. Okay, so we're going to go to our 2-minute close, and we're going to give the timer back to the professional Jatana timer. I can see how confused you guys were with the things and the phone up in the air, and yeah, we got through it. Okay, Stacie, start your 2 minutes when our timer is ready.
I'm going to actually pass it to Russ. I'd like to.
You don't have 2 minutes?
Oh, I do.
Oh, you want him to go first?
He wants me to go first.
Well, okay, I'm cool with that. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, of course.
Well, hopefully I won't even take the full 2 minutes. I know that's hard to believe. You that know me. Basically, as I mentioned before, I think this is a real pivotal time for the city of Hemet. We have an opportunity to make some really good use of the additional funds that Measure U has brought us, and fulfilling the plans that both our police chief and fire chief have set forth to enhance their departments and start making a positive difference on the safety concerns. I'm proud to say that I too have an endorsement along with my colleague Linda Krupa. We were endorsed by the Hemet Police Officers Association. I think that's an indication that we might be on the right track with what we're supporting, that they're trying to accomplish on behalf of all of us. So I think just to wrap things up, the Measure U funds are a short-term solution, and they're only going to carry us so far. If we don't seriously undertake improving the safety concerns and building some incentives and enticement for people to come and establish business here, because that's going to be the long-term solution, bringing in business and economic growth and development and the jobs that come along with that. So that's the long-term solution that we all need to work towards. I've said it's like being in a boat. We're all in a boat and we all have an oar, and we can either pick up the oar and put it in the water and start paddling, and hopefully in the same direction. Because if we don't, our boat's going to capsize. So I urge cooperation, teamwork, and camaraderie, and let's get that boat moving forward. Thank you.
You had 3 seconds.
They didn't think I could do it.
I've been told that if you ask me what time it is, I'll tell you how to build a watch.
I would just like to thank you for your time tonight. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. The fact that you're here, I'm sure some of you are just to support Russ, and that's fine. I have people in my neck of the woods that would do the same thing for me, and Russ would be the odd man out. So I appreciate that. Some of you perhaps are here tonight because maybe you are on the fence and you would like to hear both sides of the story and see both sides of the coin before you flip it. So I thank you for that opportunity as well. I thank the friends of Russ that are here, Lori Van Arsdale, and several others that put this thing together. You have good friends. It's good to have friends. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time tonight. and your attention, and vote as you will. And I hope that some of you would check mark that box. I'm all about action.
All right. Well, thank you all for staying out and listening to all this. You're an amazing audience, fantastic questions. You guys have a history of being engaged in this stuff, and I'm glad to see it hasn't changed. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Good job. This is Dennis Fletcher, back announcing this video at the Four Seasons, way out on the west end of Hemet. As you heard, a lot of the people here supported Russ Brown. Stacie put up a good fight, and we're going to go over now and talk to the candidates, see if they have something to say to us. So here we go around the back side, and we're going to come around the front side. Hey! And we'll wait a couple minutes and then see what Stacie has to say.